Yep. So you're the sure thing. And yep, that sucks. You didn't even realize you were the sure thing. So if he's breadcrumbing you, if he's coming around once in a while, yet he, disappears for a while, but then you guys always find your way back to each other, honey, you're the sure thing. I'm sorry to tell you that. I know I didn't want to hear it back in the day. I was like, no. I remember hearing about this in my 20s. Make sure you're not the sure thing. And it wasn't until later I realized, oh my God, I allowed myself to be the sure thing. Now, 3 reasons why you allow yourself to be the sure thing, why you keep going into that same pattern over and over and over again. 1, people pleasing. You're a people pleaser. You are always trying to please him. What does he need? You want to make sure you're not high maintenance, that you're not overdoing it or being too needy. You're trying to accommodate him, all in the disguise of love. But I care about him. Now, yes, both could be playing out at the same time, right? There are situations where you do love the person. You do want them, to support them and all that kind of stuff. But the place you are doing it from is from pleasing him, not purely from the place of love. This is the biggest difference, because the same situation that you're in, or the situation that you are in, could come from 2 different places. And the place that you are coming from, the energetic space you are coming from, makes the difference. Because on the outside, the situation could look the same as another situation, but it's the space you are doing it from that makes the difference. So when you're doing it from that place of, oh, but I need to this and I need to that, and don't be fooled, because I've seen a lot of people do nice things, but what's the driving force is being a good girl, being a good human, not actual pure love, but wanting that approval. And let me tell you, that's a good chunk of the population, from one degree to another. Some do it in an extreme way. Some is just a little bit here and there. I catch myself still doing it at times. It's like, whoa, where did that come from? What space did I do that in? And again, it doesn't mean I don't want to. It's just in that moment, the automatic trigger was that feeling of like, oh, get approval, got to be a good girl kind of thing, right? So that's number 1. You're always accommodating. So why wouldn't you be the sure thing? If you're always accommodating him, he barely has to do any work. You're doing all the goddamn work. You're the one doing all the work, right? So why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he categorize you as the sure thing? Next one, number 2, receiving. You've cut yourself off from receiving. You're more of a giver. You feel more comfortable giving rather than receiving. So you can't even receive what's out there for you. You've cut that off. The universe, source, creator, whatever you want to call it, wants to give to you. There are other humans that do want to give to you, that want to give love to you, that want to support you, all of that stuff. But you've cut it off. And any love that there is around you, you probably can't even see. There's probably a blind spot for you on that love, where you're not even acknowledging it. You can't even see it in different things, because that doesn't really happen to you. You're in give mode. How can I give? How can I give? How can I give? You're not open to just being and allowing yourself to receive. That's one other reason why you attract yourself. That's another reason why you repeatedly create these patterns of being the sure thing. You're a constant giver. Number 3, you accept breadcrumbs. Because of number 1 and because of number 2, you accept whatever it is that you can get. Oh, he did this much. Oh, yay. And it's all exciting and celebrating and this and that. Meanwhile, What's this? Yes, you're going to appreciate it and all of that, but there's also the reality of the big picture. You need to face the reality of the big picture. You need to see it all. It's not about just seeing those good few moments. It's about seeing all of it. And this is where I'd get stuck. Not only romantically, but even with friends, even certain family members. They'd give me this much and I'd be like, oh, but they do this, but they do this. But meanwhile, 80% of the time, they're manipulating me, lying to me, treating me like shit, right? But I would like, oh, that small amount. No, you got to look at both. You got to look at both and make a decision based on both. The little greatness that they give you and that other 80% or 90%, whatever it is. You need to look at all of it and acknowledge all of it. Because unconditional love, you see all of it. You don't just see a part of it. You don't just see what you want to see. You got to see the big picture. You need to see all of it. So when you're accepting breadcrumbs, of course you're going to be the sure thing. He barely has to do any work. Whether it be a romantic love, a friendship, a family member, whoever it is, whatever type of relationship you have, they barely have to do anything. You do all the work. You do all the giving, all of it. You're always trying to please them. Of course you're the sure thing. You're the easy thing that could be sitting on the side. Right? And they might venture, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to take a chance over here on this person. I'm going to do this over here with that person because I know this person's always going to be there until you're not, right? Until you do your inner work, you wake up and you realize, no, back up now, right? But until you get there, you're just going to be repeating the same pattern. And when you're in this space, and the type of people you're going to attract are really not those that probably even deserve a lot of your time. Straight up. They're not going to be. That guy, that woman, most likely, no. Okay? Because if he's the type of person that is going to keep you as the sure thing, is going to breadcrumb you, is going to see that, he's not in his alignment either. Because if you're in that space, you're also not going to attract a man that's in a higher space either, right? You're not going to attract that man that's in that higher space, that is more in his healthy masculine, that also balances part of his feminine too, because both need a degree of both. You're not going to attract that. He's not going to be that person, right? Because you're here. You're not going to attract him here. Now, are there some cases where there is someone right up here that is going to support you in order to elevate? Yeah. But I think it depends on how big the gap is. It depends on how big the gap is. It's not going to be, it won't work from that far of a gap. Okay? Because then he might be the one that's trying to people please. He may be the one that has those issues that once you elevate, he'd be like, what do I have to do now? What kind of work do I have to do now? What am I going to fix now? Right? Now, the masculine does tend to be the fixer, yes. But if he's seeing you just as that project that he needs to fix and all of a sudden your support, like you elevate, then what happens, right? So yeah, the difference between the two can't be that far down. So stop being the sure thing. Look at these things. Now, why are you being the sure thing? Shame, abandonment, rejection, all of those fears. Not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving to receive love, to receive even material things in this world. All of it. That is what's holding that sure thing in place. That pattern of being the sure thing, the people pleasing, accepting the breadcrumbs, not receiving. That's what's keeping you in that loop. All of those fears. Because what happens, it's also proving to you that you're not worthy, that, like, so for example, when he breadcrumbs you and he kind of comes in and out, in and out, in and out. What happens when he goes out? What do you think goes on in your mind? See, everybody leaves me. I'm alone. There must be something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. So the patterns just keep repeating. And then you keep getting more and more confirmation that you'll be left, you're not worthy, rejection, shame, I'm nothing, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, whatever's going on with you, right? Yours might be specific, a totally different kind of thing going on in the underneath, but it's pretty much the same thing. Shame. It's pretty much all of it. Like, it all comes from the frequency of shame. All that underneath, the unworthy, not good enough, non-deserving, all of that is in the ball of shame. And the reality is that if you want to get past this, you have to do your inner work. You need to be willing to look at the dirt in order to move past it. If you need to clean your home, how do you clean it if you don't see the dirt? If you ignore the dirt, you cannot clean your home. Same goes with the inside. You got to be willing to look at the shadow, willing to look at the ego, what's going on underneath, what's in the subconscious, without any shame and without any guilt. It makes it so much easier because it just is, right? You were conditioned up until this point because of XYZ that happened to you. So now it's just looking at it without any judgment in order to release it, to move on. So if you really want to do the inner work, if you're tired of repeating the patterns over and over and over again, and you want better for yourself, because let's face it, you deserve better for yourself, connect with me because we'll go deep. We'll go deep into what's going on underneath the surface in order to release it. Because there's no need for that stuff, to be running your life any longer. Also, I'll include some tapping videos at the end of this video.